Monte Carlo and white yachts, playthings of the very rich, bearing their millionaires to the Côte d'Azur. But others prefer adventure, motoring adventure through the fogs and over the glassy roads of winter Europe to reach the glittering target. Adventure for sporting motorists in everyday cars. But first, the inevitable form before the excitement begins. From the Greek capital, Rome and Lisbon in the south, from frigid Oslo and iron-curtained Warsaw, from the temperamental climes of The Hague, Glasgow and Paris, cars will stream over the long routes which take them to France and their meeting point at Chambéry in Savoy, whence they will file over the tortuous routes of the Alpe Dauphine to their shimmering objective on the blue Mediterranean. Paris was chosen as starting point by 4 famous British crews in their Austin 7 and Mini Minors. First real rally test for BMC's sensational new babies. Cars of all nationalities line up at the Road Safety Center by the Porte Maillot for the start of their 2,000-mile journey. The Morley brothers, winners of last year's Tulip Rally, slip into the Paris traffic, followed by Powell's privately entered MGA. Alec Pitts has forsaken his blown Bentley for the Mini Minor. More prosaic, but exciting. Here is Tom Wisdom, veteran of a dozen Monte Carlo rallies in his Austin 7, sliding off up the Avenue de la Grande Armée into the maelstrom of the Étoile traffic. Small hazard for such experienced crews. Already, cars are on their way from Oslo, Warsaw and Glasgow. Pat Moss, Ann Wisdom, Nancy Mitchell and Peter Riley among them. Soon others will join them in their dash to rendezvous at the focal point Chambéry, where the communal route to Monaco begins. The MGA sliding through the Ardennes is Cliff Ward, a Hague starter. And Pat Cezanne in the Vosges. All of Europe's cars from all of Europe's capitals converge as if drawn by a magnet. From here, secondary roads are the order of the day, twisting and turning over the cols of Granier, Coucheron, Rousset and half a dozen others. Darkness is an extra hazard for early starters. The more experienced will have accumulated enough time here for minor repairs, for at the end of this section, the cars will be locked away in the Parc Fermé before the final exacting classification test on the morrow. Off goes Woolly Bear Riley towards the Col du Granier. The Metropolitan Police are having a go too, under the eyes of the experts. Remember the 30-kilometer speed limit, Mr. Chilavere. And you too, Alec Pitts. Tom Wisdom knows that the wet on these roads will turn to ice in the shadow of the mountains. How did you know, Monsieur le Gendarme, that Pat Moss and Ann Wisdom were just going to come through your tunnel in their A40? But the mountains are too grim to smile. The ice, which made the Rousset a terror in the night, has thawed for the many who cross it for the second time in a dozen hours. Hard shoulder work takes the place of fingertip driving as Lasset follows Lasset. Truck drivers are courteous on an occasion like this, but there must be a constant vigil. The wide track and independent suspension give the Mini Minor magnetic road holding under foul conditions, scoring over more conventional cars. In these mountains, a bistro provides a warming background for the controllers with their time clock. The BMC babies are staunch survivors among the diminished stream of cars which make the last stretch. The rough and tumble of rallying has no terrors for Isigoni's masterpiece. Wheels at the corners and the revolutionary rubber suspension give the little cars a stability and resilience which deal easily with the vagaries of French secondary roads. Off the Col de Grimone, onto the Route Napoléon at the top of the Col de Croizotte, through Provençal villages which seem deserted without the drenching sun. La Turbie, scene of classic hill climbs, is passed as the cars slip down the Grande Corniche into the Principalité to the final control, situated at a point where Grand Prix cars take the first turn in the race of 1,000 corners, another great Monaco tradition. This sinuous circuit through the Alpes-Maritimes must be circled twice, once by day and once by night, and penalties await crews for seconds of lateness at controls or differences in time between the two circuits. The Mrs. Moss and Wisdom, already penalized, will need all their skill to beat the clock ticking away remorselessly as starter after starter roars away into the night, back up the Corniche and into the mountains by Lucerne. In the bitter light of the television flares, first the Morley brothers and then Pat Moss and Ann Wisdom pull off into the night. Two kinds of winter sport in Valberg today, experts on the road and beginners on the slopes. There is not much grip to lose in these parts. Concentration is the thing. Pat Moss wisely wears a helmet, for this is a race against time. An atom bomb would leave these mountains unscathed. Man-made scratches like contour lines are the roads on which the cars run. A 30-mile-an-hour average is an achievement under such conditions. Alec Pitts, still going strong after arguing with a truck. Up above the snow line, cars of all makes stream towards the welcome dryness of the valley. Another of the minis. Pat Moss hard on its heels. The big cars are at a disadvantage on roads such as these, but the little minis thrive on it. Touring cars manned by touring champions and all at their limit. In sterner times, this was Maquis country. The Bailey Bridge over the Var is a memorial to French patriotism and to British engineering. Corner after corner, and the darkness of tunnels to try tired eyes. Alec, trailing his exhaust pipe this time. He seems to have hit everything in Provence. They say the car will be buried at sea with full naval honors at the end of the rally. A giddy lot, these rallyists. Control at Chateauneuf. Banging the last clock for the last time under the watchful eyes of ski-booted officials, then the neutralized section into Monaco to the flashlights, the photographers, and bed. Wonderful bed before the jollifications and congratulations. Congratulations in plenty to Pat Moss and Anne Wisdom, for they have run true to form, retrieved their position, and won the Coupe des Dames for the second year running. And what do rally successes mean to the ordinary BMC car owner? Just this. In workaday driving, or on more formal occasions, those rally victories are his guarantee of continuing reliability. When he's cruising quietly through the gentle countryside of England, he knows that his car would cope just as well with far tougher demands. The BMC owner knows he can rely on his car because the best rally drivers in the world have proved it.
over Europe at this moment in 8 other starting points as far apart as Lisbon and Athens, crews are going through the same strict scrutineering procedure. John Wadsworth and Alan Cook seem happy enough about it, and so does the examiner, who puts the official seal on their Cooper engine. Harry Karlstrom's Mini needs a push, but only as far as the scrutineering shed. The Swedish ace is driving in the 5-car BMC Works team and is first away from the Paris starting line. An abundance of preparation and engineering skill from the backroom boys have led up to this moment. Now everything depends on the men who edge their cars cautiously out into the mid-morning traffic. All French eyes are on Gemignani and Anquetil in their Ford Mustang. Both have won world acclaim as cyclists, but the switch from 2 wheels to 4 threatens to be much tougher. The Monte is at last on the move, and there's no time to stop and admire the landmarks. 237 starters heading and hoping for warmth and wealth at journey's end. And for the first few miles, the wintry sunlight hardly reflects the icy conditions ahead. The navigator, with his expert knowledge of the route, can't afford to relax when night comes. The Danish Ford team are motoring strongly, and now some of the Frankfurt starters link up with this fast-moving cavalcade. Already the Monte has claimed some victims, but there are still many ambitions intact at the Figeac checkpoint. Lost minutes can mean the difference between victory and just another hard luck story. Lateness is heavily penalized, especially on the main speed sections, but those on time can afford some relaxation. Others spend precious minutes changing wheels, and it's a technical switch they won't regret. The Twigden Gorst Mini, a London starter, roars back onto the road while the familiar Allard Det, piloted by 1952 winner Sidney Allard, confidently noses forward to face the hazards of the next 600 miles. Those who snatch some sleep are lucky because every ounce of energy and skill is needed from now on. Snow, ice, blizzards. Almost every mile in these treacherous conditions shatters another victory hope. Journalist Courtney Edwards battles on in the Austin 1800 despite a fractured oil pipe. Norman Harvey takes a corner in high-speed style because this is no place for faint hearts and slow coaches. Joe Foster's Mini is making a brave bid to beat time and weather snags, but already the powerful Works team, backed by vast technical knowledge and unlimited finance, are emerging as pacemakers. The top firms spend over £10,000 a team to snatch this blue ribbon award of the rally calendar. Claude Twigden still driving with great determination. There's little time for any competitor to admire the alpine splendor from the snug interior of a car littered with maps, torches, and thermos flasks. A quiet French town echoes to the throaty roar of the various engines. Now London, Paris, and Frankfurt starters have met the Lisbon and Monte Carlo contingent. Some haven't anticipated such bad driving conditions at this stage and are regretting their decision not to fit studded tires earlier on. Albert Hill's MG 1100 is still in with a chance, but 28 of the original 237 starters are out, most of them in the last few tortuous miles. The Saint-Flour checkpoint, a welcome sight for those stunned by the vicious conditions already encountered. The Austin Mini of Spaniards Chicho and Langley is penalized for lateness. But the London hopefuls are hardest hit with 7 cars failing to continue.